Good morning, welcome to your Friday, September 8th, 10 a.m. weather briefing. Well, across the region yesterday, we had fairly uniform temperatures and unseasonably cool conditions as temperatures only were in the lower to mid 70s. Baltimore, as far as the high temperature is concerned, was the coolest spot at 72 degrees. The warmest 77, and here at Wallops, we were right in between at 74 degrees. Our normal daytime high for this time of year is in the lower 80s. Overnight last night, Baltimore was the coolest at 49 degrees. The rest of the region seeing temperatures ranging from the lower to upper 50s. Here at Wallops, we got down to a low of 55 degrees. No precipitation across the region yesterday, and currently we have sunny skies with temperatures in the lower to mid 60s, 67 degrees here at Wallops with sunny skies as of 9 a.m. Upper air sounding from this morning showing a northerly wind at 11 knots, and then we see a shift more to a westerly to southwesterly component and an increase in our winds as well. We do have our wind max at the 20,000 foot level at 58 knots. Our freezing level this morning was at 14,700 feet. Our satellite with radar imagery showing just a few clouds, a little bit hard to see on this imagery, but we do have a few cirrus as well as some fair weather Q over the area, and it's pretty much going to be the predominant cloud cover throughout the day today. We'll have some light north to northwesterly winds shifting more westerly as we go throughout the day, with temperatures rising into the mid 70s, still remaining unseasonably cool for this time of year. Again, high temperatures are normally in the lower 80s. And that is all being provided by a nice cool high pressure system that is settling over the area and will continue to remain over the mid-Atlantic states for the next several days and through the weekend, and will be providing us with some fairly pleasant conditions, and will be one of the deciding factors in terms of where Hurricane Irma goes later this weekend into early next week. And we'll talk about that just a little bit later here in the forecast. But for our Friday midday planner, again, sunny skies with temperatures in the mid 70s, and then another clear to mostly clear night for us tonight, with low temperatures again dropping down into the mid 50s. So another unseasonably cool but comfortable night for you to open the windows and enjoy that cool air. Maybe go out and have a nice fire, do whatever it is that you're going to do tonight, which is going to be a nice night for you. Saturday morning, we'll have a nice start to the morning as well, with temperatures in the mid 50s, and then for Saturday, much the same as what we're going to be seeing today, just a few more clouds, and again, high temperatures in the lower to mid 70s. So we look at our 24-hour risk chart. We're going to be green across the board for our hazards, and temperatures again today, our high temperature is going to be around 75 degrees with a light westerly wind at about 5 to 10 knots under sunny skies. Mostly clear tonight, low temperatures dropping down into the mid 50s, 55 degrees is the expected low, with light and variable winds. And no concerns in terms of our 24-hour terminal forecast. Is expected to be VFR for the next 24 hours. As far as Saturday is concerned, mostly sunny and pleasant with a high of 73 degrees, and then another pleasant night for us Saturday night with a low of 57 degrees, and then for Sunday, mostly sunny and pleasant with a high of 72 degrees, and we'll start to see a slight increase in our winds on Sunday out of a north to northeasterly direction, with just a little bit more cloudiness, but still going to be a good day to end the weekend. As far as the 7-day forecast is concerned, we'll start to see clouds begin to increase on Monday, mostly cloudy with a temperature of 73 degrees, as Hurricane Irma could potentially be influencing our weather by Monday in terms of just dumping some mid to upper level cloudiness over the region. And then on Tuesday, we could see some rain bands from Irma as it gets absorbed into an upper level system, and possibly drop some rainfall over our area on Tuesday. We'll get up to a high of 74 degrees on Wednesday. Wednesday's a little bit more of a question mark in terms of the timing. That rain could potentially hold off until Wednesday, but right now keeping it for Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, and then for Wednesday, partly sunny skies with a high temperature of 78 degrees, and then for Thursday, temperatures in the mid 70s, still remaining unseasonably cool. As far as Irma is concerned, we do have Irma right now as a Category 4 hurricane, just moving over northwestern or northeastern Cuba, and will continue to move on a westerly path as the Bermuda High continues to influence Irma's steering flow and continue to push it in a westward pattern. And then we'll start to see it make its turn this weekend and head for Central Florida. Models have shifted a little bit farther west, and so has the National Hurricane Center's forecasted track, as it will pass just west of Miami into Central Florida right now and move up the spine of Florida through this weekend. It looks like the landfall is still on track for late Saturday into early Sunday morning as a Category 4 hurricane is what the National Hurricane Center is, although I think there's a good chance that this will actually weaken right before it hits the Central Florida, as it's going to be dependent on how Cuba, or how Irma interacts with the land, with Cuba's landmass. Could potentially be weakening it as it heads for Florida. Behind Irma, we do have Category 3 Hurricane Jose, which will be falling behind Irma, but will actually begin to push off to the northeast later this weekend into early next week, and then eventually stall out well south of Bermuda as it gets trapped between Irma and also the Bermuda High, which will be building over top of it. So for the National Hurricane Center, again, Category 4 hurricane with 150 mile per hour sustained winds, 927 millibars for its minimum central pressure, and it's risen a little bit since yesterday, as it was a 921 millibar with 180 mile per hour winds. So a slight decrease, but it's still a very, very strong hurricane, and it looks like it'll continue to be a very strong hurricane until it gets too close about Florida, which could see a drop-off possibly to a Category 3 hurricane. But the National Hurricane Center still projecting a Category 4 hurricane going into Central Florida early Sunday morning with possible 150 mile per hour sustained winds and storm surges in the southern portions of Florida and also Key West, possibly as high as 10 feet. So could potentially be a devastating impact for those areas as Irma makes landfall. And then, as you can see on the forecast track here, moving along the spine of Florida into Georgia and then into the Tennessee Valley. As it makes its way up northward into Georgia and Tennessee early next week, this is where we could potentially see some rain bands enter our area Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the speed and the eventual track of Irma, but we'll continue to monitor that. As far as the model guidance is concerned, there has been a shift, as has been the case over since yesterday afternoon. We're starting to see more of a shift westward again. Earlier this morning, the 6E runs were actually taking it right into Central Florida, but now they're actually tracked a little bit more westward into the western portions of Florida, and this could be a pretty bad setup, as they'll put Miami and the Keys into the northwestern quadrant of the hurricane, or the northeastern quadrant of the hurricane, which would be a bad place for any location to be in as you start to experience your strongest winds and impacts from that system. Now again, the key factors that are going to be influencing Irma's track are going to be the Bermuda High in the central Atlantic, the trough that is currently over the northeastern United States, and also the trough that will be dropping down into the northwestern United States. It looks like Saturday, during the day or evening on Saturday, and will be that trough dropping out in the northwest will be influencing exactly how far east the trough over the United States is actually able to push, possibly breaking down that ridge, and then will influence Irma's path. But right now the models are keeping it west and not allowing it to make that eventual turn eastward, which in terms of the Wallops region is a good setup, but not so much for the South Florida. Well, that'll conclude the 10 a.m. weather briefing for today. We'll be back again with you Monday morning for your daily ops weather briefing at 8:15. Have a great day.